Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me get my Pepsi out the way. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you. I was supposed to have been on ever since 2 o'clock today, but I had a prior meeting and things like that. But come on in, everybody. I'm going to give some people some time to come in. I'm glad to see you today. Uh, yeah. Oh, wow. And I was testing out my audio to make sure that that's good. Everything seems to be good. Everything seems to be looking good. The monitors are good. Everybody's cool. All right, so that's good. All right, so good to see everybody. Glad to see you. Come on in from YouTube. Come on in from Facebook. What's up? What's up? What's up? I tagged so many people to come inside. So come on in. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. All right, we're gonna get started. Hopefully, I'm here for just a few minutes, and I'm not gonna, as they would say in church, be before you long. But listen, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you feel more mentally tired than you are physically tired? Like here lately, when you've been sleeping, you find your body sleeping, but at the same time, your mind is just won't shut off. Well, if this is you, what I'm about to show you is made specifically for you. Like you are who this curriculum is actually for. So let's go to this chart real quick. I want to show you. And this we call the 5-step system chart. It's called Elevate System. And I've come up with this ever since maybe about almost 2 to 3 years ago. Just didn't have it into fruition yet until now. And down during the years of having a lot of experiences and things like that, I had to come up with something that I knew would be a proven step that would help me, with anxiety, help me with voices, help me with like unexpected thoughts that I didn't want, to come to my mind when I'm resting or relaxing or just having a regular day. So this is what we call the Elevate System chart. And it looks like this: anxiety, search mode, RRP mode, edit stage mode, and the matrix mode. And what I want to take a look at real quick is what we call the anxiety mode, which is stage 1. And see, most times I want y'all to see this because this is not the kind of anxiety that helps us to see that oh, you're panicking about something, or you're having a panic attack, or or you're walking in fear. You don't have to actually walk in fear for you to have anxiety. But this is the kind of anxiety that let you know that you have too much noise in your head. You got mental noise. That conversation that you had yesterday, you're questioning why, that person said that in the conversation, although you laughed it off when you did have it. So many things that are going on in your mind because of the stuff that you think about. Mental noise is what's being produced. Also, the pressures of having life figured out. You don't have to have life or everything in life figured out. No matter what age you are, sometimes you'll say to yourself, I am here now at this age, and why am I not where I thought I should be? Why haven't I figured this thing out yet? You still find yourself feeling a particular way, all because of what was said or a particular joke and stuff. And you're like, I'm an adult now. Why am I still feeling these feelings? But sometimes it have a lot to do with the things that you didn't get a chance to face, or you didn't have a name for what it was that you were feeling. Also, you get a sense that there's something wrong, but you just can't name it. Like I said, you don't know how to name it and where to put it. You have a lot of things. And so these things happen. And the reason why we have anxiety is that anxiety happens when you have a whole bunch of unanswered questions all at the same time, and you just couldn't answer them, because sometimes it's so overwhelming. It gets you anxious, it gets you anxiety, and sometimes you don't know all of, where to put the pressure and how to name what it is that you're going through. And so sometimes when the mind is uncertain, it doesn't like to feel that. So the only thing it's going to do is what it think should be done, or anything it think it could do to help you as an individual. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, these are the things that we have when anxiety comes. But notice that what happens when anxiety comes, sometimes your mind go into what they call search mode. This is where you're searching for answers that you haven't had. And so when it go into search mode, sometimes you think that your mind search on the outside of you, but it really search on the inside of you. And so search mode is where you start hunting for answers, and where do we hunt for answers? Let's talk about it, right? Where are we right now? We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, wherever you're calling in from right now, wherever you're tuning in from. So we start to go to Google, right? No matter what your situation is. Isn't it funny how sometimes you can get a cut And when you get a cut, you're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. It felt like I cut something deep or whatever. You get a cut on your hand, and all of a sudden you Google it, and Google make you feel like you're about to die in the next second. Or it make you feel like whatever it was that, your cut could be linked to as to why you cut yourself, or you made a mistake and got cut. Oh, you're going to die. It's Armageddon. This is it. Say goodbye. So at the end of the day, these are the things that sometimes Google will do for you. And also you'll start scrolling, and you start scrolling and find answers and stuff like that. And then watch this. You go to social media, you watch videos, you watch video after video after video, all about what it is that you're searching for. You're trying to get answers, because when your mind is in search mode, it is searching for answers it haven't had yet, and then you start to go ask people for advice, and then what happens when you ask people for advice? You try to listen to the next best person, that could describe what you're going through at the moment, even though you're not completely going through that particular thing that they've given you. And so you're like, look, this gotta be what I'm going through, because this is the closest to what it is that I'm going through. And this person is the most relevant, and it doesn't mean that that's exactly what you're to do, And so sometimes when your mind is mixed up and is scrambled, what happens? You start to compare yourself to everybody else's highlighted reel or everybody else's short on YouTube. Because when you're going through crazy stuff and your mind is in search mode, you haven't had answers that you've been looking for. You know what happens? Now you start to compare yourself to everybody else's life, because you feel like scrambled eggs. You feel that everybody else can see that you feel like scrambled eggs, and nobody can see that. And that's the gist of it. That when your mind is sometimes searching, it doesn't search outside, it searches internally. And that's the gist of it, And then you feel that everybody can see you, all because of the fact that, you feel what you're going through. And see, when mental hit your emotion, then you start to feel that everybody else can see what you're feeling or thinking because of your actions. You get what I'm saying? And so search mode sometimes can look productive, but it is not productive at all, because you're not getting any clarity. And that's the reason why I'm on here today. And this is the reason why I'm coming to people who are battling with anxiety and people who are battling with existential anxiety. These are the things that we teach you, and this is something I would love to coach people with. So because your mind can consume, information that have no structure to it, that's the thing that's going to allow for the noise or the voice that you hear and the thoughts that come across your mind to get louder and louder and louder. So not only are you scrolling Google, and Google telling you one thing, you're scrolling social media, looking for videos, asking for advice. And because you're mixed up, you start to compare yourself to other people, and then you think you felt this, all productive because of the fact that you have done all of these things, when you are actually in panic mode, and you're feeling disgrace and disgust, and you don't have nobody that you can talk to about it, because you don't know how to articulate it, because you don't know what to call it. It is called anxiety. And so because your mind don't like to have, an unstructured, can I say unstructured, or a system without any structure, in your productivity, you start to have the voice and the noises in your head to get louder. Listen, things get louder when you don't understand. And that's the deal. It's all about clarity here. Sometimes you think that you need therapy. Sometimes you think that you need to be on somebody else's couch. But in all reality, you're really searching for clarity. And I would love to help you out, with that. We have what they call a 5-step system, like we're going through now. And we go in depth. If you want to go in depth with us, leave a comment, rather on YouTube. Leave a comment if you're on Facebook that, I think I want to go through, I need to, find out more about what to call the thing I can't recognize, and we go deeper, honestly, in our Elevate Circle. I'm your coach and I'm your host. And did this, it's been done. I come up with this wonderful curriculum, but I had 10 years of experience with this curriculum, and I've sent out to multiple people who did not have any type of emotional connection to me, just to share it with them and to ask them what is it that they felt about it. Several people had told me that it really worked for them. And before we come back to our next tablet, I want to show you what people are actually saying. All right, let's take a look at this.
Hi, my Elevate family. I just want to take this opportunity and let you guys know why you should join Elevate Circle. I have been fortunate to meet Donald through work, and I am telling you, that's like my brother from another mother. And then he introduced me to this wonderful platform where I could talk about everything and anything. And most especially, what I appreciate the most is the live broadcast, where we could just come, communicate, talk as a family, vent, get it off our chest. And I feel like for me, it's more of a free zone, judgment-free zone, a comfort zone where I could just pour it all out there, have others who feel the way that I feel just interacts with me, the love, the support. Like, it's a strong community overall. You won't regret joining it. I am blessed and I'm fortunate to have joined this platform, and I just want to take the opportunity just to shout out to my man Donald, my brother from another mother, just to say thank you, and much love and respect. Thanks, bro. I appreciate everything that you're doing for us and this community, and I want you to just continue to do what you're doing and just be blessed. All right, love you. Mwah.
If you've been going through it or having some anxious thoughts, join the Elevate family. Come on here, grab some tips, watch some videos. It's not overwhelming. It's very easy to follow and understand. Join the Elevate family and see how it can help you.
Hey everyone, my name is Grace. Join Elevate. You guys won't regret it. Thank you so much, Donald, for this program. You are wonderful, you are appreciated, and you are loved.
Join the wonderful Elevate Circle community featuring the 5-step Elevate system and reclaim your freedom. You'll thank me later.
And so that's the Elevate system. Just a few testimonies, from those of them who are actually in our community and in our network. It's been a wonderful, wonderful thing that's been going on. And I'm glad that there are people who have their minds freed. There are people who are, they're actually, taking control of the thoughts that they do have. They're taking control of the thoughts that come their way. And a lot of times, I can tell you instantly, I can tell you easily, listen, do me a favor. Just stop entertaining the thoughts that you go through, and stop entertaining the thoughts that come your way, and you'll be fine. But what does that look like is the question. And that's where I become relevant. That's where Elevate Circle become relevant, because we have this 5-system step that will help you, to get through those particular things. We go in depth in our inner circle. And so just to go back, and I due to the time and the interim of time, I know that we were at stage 2, but we're going to go straight to stage 4. And listen, honestly, I really like for you to join the Elevate Circle. I really love for you to be a part of our family and join a community that's going to love on you. You don't have to be judged. You won't have to be, put on trial. We're not here to give you therapy, motivation, or anything like that. We're just here to give you clarity. And when we look at the edit stage, we get to the 4th tab, of our steps. This is where, you start to think about, the actual truth about the things that haunt you, the thoughts that come your way. A lot of times we have the ability to think that, when you think about it, you go around, you're walking up the block, you see a group of your friends or group of the people that you do have that's in your circle, and, they are talking and stuff like that. And before you walk up, they're starting to laugh, You don't know what they're laughing at, but for some reason or another, if you have an existential moment, you'll start to think, that voice will start to say to you, what are they laughing at? Are they laughing at me? Are they laughing at what I have on? And why didn't they tell me when I walked up on them? And some things are just not for you to know. There's some things that are not for for you to have to figure out, And this is where, you stop treating every thought like it's the truth, because thoughts will act like, or tell you and lie to you, they've been talking about you. It's about your outfit. It's about your shoes. It's about your hairdo. It's about your haircut. and you're asking yourself, why, am I going through these things? But this is where the edit stage come in, where you start to remove all mental clutter. You don't have to treat every thought like it's the truth, and you don't have to give attention to every thought that come your way. By the time you get to this fourth stage, you'll already then master, what you entertain and what you do not entertain. And so sometimes you have to learn how to challenge, the stories that you've been telling yourself. And that's the thoughts. You have to start challenging and going against the grain. Nah, that's not what's going on. Nah, they're not talking about me. Nah, they don't dislike me. No, they're not making fun of me. No, they're not making a mock of me. No, I am gonna, make and have this job, no matter what it is that I say to myself. I filled out the application was because I know I'm qualified for it. And then even though I have my mind that's telling me I'm not qualified for it, I'm going to go against the grain and not give any attention to that thought. I'm not going to give anything. I'm going to mentally, dismiss all of the clutter that come to my mind. And by the way, let me digress for a quick second. I want you to understand that there are 4 classes of people. You get what I'm saying? You have red, blue, greens, and yellow. Thank you, Mr. Saborn. He helped us to understand that red people are individual people. Their individuality. And then, in other words, there are those of them who could sit next to you, not say anything to you, not be mad with you. They're considered to be potential introverts. They are very, very smart people, very intelligent. If there's a particular problem that needs to be solved, they can solve the problem themselves. It's not about the timing. It's about them solving the problems. They're good managers. There are those of them who don't like to conform to stupid rules, but they can sit next to you after seeing you yesterday, and not seeing you today, sit right next to you and not say anything to you and be okay and not be mad with you all at the same time. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the kind of red people are. Red people are individuality. And by the way, red does not mean that individual. We're just using those colors to differentiate the different classes of people. The other class of people is what we call green people. Green people are always on the go. They're fast-paced people, and that's the kind of people that they are. No matter what, green people, fast-paced people, on the way. And they would like to figure things out faster than you. They're not rude people. They just don't like being held up. So if you are somebody who are, you have to find out every detail for detail, and they're on their way and they like to go, you're going to be left behind by them. So they're fast-paced people, and it's not that they're rude, but they don't want to be held behind. They're the type of people you have to get straight to the point, kind of like what you're saying to me. Get straight to the point. You feel what I'm saying? They love to get straight to the point, and that's them. They're fast-paced, And then you have what they call blue people, and I think that this is where we want to land the plane right here. Blue people are those of them who have to ask questions in order to understand. It's not that they are slow. It's just that they want to make sure that they have every bit of information that they need in order for them not to come back to you for the information again, And so if you're going to Great Adventures and you're leaving from where you are, they want to know who's driving, how are we getting there, what time are we leaving, what route are we taking, what time are we expected to get there, what are we going to do when we get there, what time are we leaving, what route are we taking when we get back, what time are we expected to get back. And that's them. And if you don't tell them anything, they're not coming, they're not moving, but they need to know specifically, what the details are. So you might tell them a joke and they could ruin the joke because they need to find out and ask questions. Wait, but what did you mean by that? What did you mean by this? What did you mean by that? And then after you explain the whole joke, when the joke is now mediocre, then they're going to start laughing. You're like, you know what? Because you feel and you thought that they should, and that's not every blue, don't get it twisted, but that's just an illustration of what a blue can do. And in retrospect to that, that's the reason why it brings me back to, our stage here, the edit stage, which is, we challenge, every story that we tell ourselves. And what does that mean? And that's what we need to do by the time that we get to the edit stage mode. But when you come down to blue people are those of them who will ask the question, what did you mean by that? Why did you say that? Or they'll ask themselves, what did they mean by my shoes? And did they really mean, were they trying to make a mockery out of it? Is it racism? Is it this? Is it that? No, it was simply a joke. They could go deeper into situations, and it's not that deep. It's like, oh, Don, we know how you wear your sweaters. oh, we laugh it off at the moment. You'll laugh at the moment. But if I'm a blue, I'm going to ask myself later on, what did he mean by that? You know, so blue people are most vulnerable, and to some degree, most everybody is, but are most vulnerable to an existential moment. You know, and when you have an existential moment, let me tell you what those are. An existential moment is someone who put a danger to the present moment that they're experiencing at the moment. In other words, you're in the building that you're in right now, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, I want to leave the building to go to the corner store, but what if a brick fall on my head by the time I walk out the building? I would love to walk across the street, but what if a truck, you know, hit me when I walk across the street after looking both ways, you know? And that's an existential moment. That's someone who have to be explained. It's not going to happen. Relax. Fall back, Rebecca. Fall back, Tommy. You know, life is not, you know, going to do you like that. Although we do know that anything is possible, but things can become possible when you start to conjure this up in your mind before anything else. And that's the reason why we're here, that, you know, we have to sometimes challenge those thoughts. You know, if you feel them, why am I going to sit there and try to entertain? Oh, if I'm going to have something like a brick fall on my head when I walk out of the building. No, entertain those thoughts. No, don't entertain them. I want you to challenge them. Nah, hold on. That don't even sound right. If I look both ways before I cross the street, chances are I won't get hit by a car. And that's most likely what a blue person does. So now we got to stop, you know, identifying, you know, with every emotion that passed through our mind every time we have a thought. It's something altogether kind of crazy when the mental hit the thought system, or the mental hit the emotional system. Because when you start to, it's one thing to think some things, but it's another thing to feel the thing that you think. And then you become to believe that thing because it feel real when it's really false. The thing that, you know, your mind can be a convincing liar if you don't learn how to tame and train it and just cut and edit what you need over what you no longer need. That's not going to be for your future or your better. You know, and so that's the thing that we do, everybody. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that we're actually facing in real time. You know, you don't have to entertain every thought that come your way. You know, so not every thought deserves belief, and some thoughts deserve to be edited out. In other words, some thoughts need to be cut out. And that's why I had to put that there, you know, and I want to do that on purpose for you. Every thought need to be edited, you know. You ought not to believe everything that you hear. You get what I'm saying? So again, like I said, you know, people in our Elevate Circle are those of them who are being developed into that. And when you're in our Elevate Circle, you know, listen, you got to understand it's not a overnight situation. You know, this system is not an overnight. You're not going to magically get up and go, oh, I feel better now. You know what I'm saying? Everything comes in time. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, I'm good now. I had one tab, you know, but you really, really love to join Elevate Circle. And listen, I have an event that's going to be coming up in a couple of months. It's called the Reset Room. You know, so we can have our minds, you know, reset. And I want to show you how to reset your mind, just like you have to reset your phone every now and again to get the clutter of, you know, every thought that come your way. Listen, here's the other thing too. You know, some people don't even know that in our Elevate Circle, we are also channeling relationships, existential anxiety, and what it looked like in relationships. I want to see, let me see if I could help you out with something. We had a movie scene that I just shot. And if you ever want to know exactly what an existential moment looked like, you know, in relationships, I want to show you here if I can give you an example. You know, I want to show you some of what it looked like. I'm going to show you, I can't show you the actual movie, but I can show you some of the clips. There's a man that comes home, you know, and for those of you who are in relationships, I want you to focus in on this because a lot of you have been suffering with and fighting with anxiety within your relationship. And I know you're like, but Donald, yeah, I know this, but some people don't know exactly what an existential, you know, situation looked like in a relationship. So we have a man here. His name is Andre. He comes home and he observes his wife sitting on the couch. I shot this myself, by the way, you know, and she's very, very passive right now. You know, she's angry at something because as soon as he walked in, she perceived that there was something that was going on. She understood what it was, but you know, she has patience. She has patience. So he looks at it and he's like, he notices, he's observing her. It's like, you know, babe, are you okay? You know, everything's okay, everything's good. She's like, oh no, yeah, everything's good. You know, and he's like, you sure? She's like, yeah, everything's good. I guess it's okay. Obviously, he's not convinced because her body language is saying something completely different, you know? And so he began to go to the refrigerator to get him some water. And while he does that, you know what she screams out? She says, you forgot. So now after he grabbed the bottle of water out of the refrigerator, you know, he takes himself a drink and he walks back over to the couch, you know, with disbelief, like, what's going on? He looks at her. He's like, forgot what? What's going on? What's wrong? She looks at him and she says, you forgot the candy. You totally forgot the candy. And so he's like, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. I did forget the candy. You're right. And he began to apologize to her, you know? But here's the deal. What she felt was different from what he felt. And so she's like, it's not really just about the candy, Andre. And he's like, what do you mean? He says, sometimes I feel like that I'm an afterthought when you don't get something I didn't ask you, but that I asked you for. And he's like, but I only forgot the box of candy. I'll never, ever forget you. And right there is what we consider to be an existential moment, because she equated the box of candy to be his heart. He's like, no, it's just a box of candy. My heart is with you no matter what. You have me, but don't compare me to candy. And she's like, but when you do these things, make me feel like you don't think about me at all. And it's not about the candy. For her, the candy represented his heart. For him, it's just a box of candy. He has his own heart, and she have him anytime that she like. And that's what an existential moment represent. When you attach a danger or a thought to a place or a thing or a time or a moment, and you feel that something bad represent the thing that you are attaching the good moment to. And that's what existential anxiety look like in relationships, rather you know or not. Listen, if you want to go deeper, we have the actual clip and movie in our Elevate Circle. We have also podcasts. We have tons of talking head videos. We have tons of courses. We have tons of challenges. We have tons of interaction with live Q&As, just like Mrs. Taylor said in our commercial, which I'm going to play that before, you know, we land the plane. We have tons and tons and tons of things like that. And I want for you to really, really be a part of our Elevate Circle. If you do, I want you to leave in the comment, I want to be a part. You know, I want to be a part. I want to be a part. And I will send you by way of email in your inbox a link, you know what I'm saying? It is an offer, but I can give you a 10-day trial where if you feel that this is you and something that you want to be a part of and something that's helping you instantly, but as soon as you get in there, you're going to be put to work on your mental state, because I do believe that we do have, you know, a president that's going crazy. We don't know what to expect any God given day. We have countless funerals and people that we've lost. We have people who are facing divorce. We have people who have been broken up in their relationships. We have people who don't know if they're going to make it, you know, with the spouse or the girlfriend or the boyfriend that they do have. You know, we have people who have families that are going crazy. You know, they can't even have dinner anymore. They can't talk to each other. And think about it. We have these devices we call cell phones. You know, we have people who are sitting at the dinner table, if more or less sitting at the dinner table. And when we do, we ain't even paying attention to ourselves because we're so engulfed in, you know what I'm saying, in our devices. That's separating us immensely. We don't talk no more. We don't know what's in each other's head. So that when things start to go crazy, you have an anxiety attack. We don't know what to call it. We don't know where to put the pressure. Meanwhile, you're confused. You're hurting the other person who want to know what's in your head because they want to help you, but you don't know exactly what to call what you're going through. And we have one big gumbo soup in the whole family. This is something that the Elevate Circle specializes in, getting one individual together and their mind aligned so that they can help the other person understand them and you can understand other people because you are aligned in your emotions, your thoughts, you know what I'm saying, your mental state and all of that. If you feel that you would love to be a part of it, please, like I said, hit me up. And before we land the plane, I want to show you our commercial once more because I'm so proud of these people in our community that it's really they have progress being made. They're moving forward and they're being better to help other people better.
Hi, my Elevate family. I just want to take this opportunity and let you guys know why you should join Elevate Circle. I have been fortunate to meet Donald through work, and I am telling you, that's like my brother from another mother. And then he introduced me to this wonderful platform where I could talk about everything and anything. And most especially what I appreciate the most is the live broadcast where we could just come, communicate, talk as a family, vent, get it off our chest. And I feel like for me, it's more of a free zone, judgment-free zone, a comfort zone where I could just pour it all out there, have others who feel the way that I feel just interacts with me, the love, the support. Like, it's a strong community overall. You won't regret joining it. I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to have joined this platform, and I just want to take the opportunity just to shout out to my man Donald, my brother from another mother, just to say thank you, and much love and respect. Thanks, bro. I appreciate everything that you're doing for us and this community, and I want you to just continue to do what you're doing and just be blessed. All right, love you. Mwah.
If you've been going through it or having some anxious thoughts, join the Elevate family. Come on here, grab some tips, watch some videos. It's not overwhelming. It's very easy to follow and understand. Join the Elevate family and see how it can help you.
Hey everyone, my name is Grace. Join Elevate. You guys won't regret it. Thank you so much, Donald, for this program. You are wonderful, you are appreciated, and you are loved.
Join the wonderful Elevate Circle community featuring the 5-step Elevate system and reclaim your freedom. You'll thank me later.
Yeah, so look, join the Elevate family. I would love for you to be a part of our community. It is amazing. We have beautiful people that are of safe haven, people who have started their own businesses, people who have, created a better life for themselves, and I was happy to have been able to go through the stuff that I've gone through, to be able to help more people, and that's what I've always wanted to do, just help more people. We have some new stuff here on the horizon, but I just always wanted to just help people. I want to take a look real quick, and I know that we had like the 5-step system and stuff like that. Let me put this, and y'all see me drinking my Pepsi. Pepsi is not sponsoring me, but just to take a deeper look at what we have to offer is something I wanted to. Let me move this out the way. Yeah, so just take a deeper look at what it is that we have. So step 1 is about our anxiety. Your mind searching for clarity. Step 2 is our search mode, discovering where those thoughts come from. Step 3 is the RRP mode, replace your thoughts that hurt you, and master replacing them. Step 4 is the edit stage, where we're removing thoughts that don't belong in our mind. And then final step is our matrix mode, where you live with a redesigned mindset that no longer control you, but you can control it. Just go right there to manifestthoughts88@gmail.com. If you wanted to further get in touch with us, leave a comment, hit me up in the inbox, and if you really want to double down and go if you want to double down and go deeper, into this, because rather you know or not, your mental health is important, and people can easily have information through ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is off the chain. It's fire, or AI is fire, and I get it. I totally understand that, but those things can sometimes give you a lot of information, but what you need in your life is more transformation, and I want to give you transformation. I want you to be able to make it in life. I want you to be able to, be better in life. And trust me, I'm the product, I am the model of my own product. If I didn't go through this, you can say something to me today and I don't have to think about what it is that you said, because I now know how to control those thoughts. I learned how to position myself to stand in front of what it is that you said that would, allow for me to develop thoughts. Sometimes, you'll be in your home, and think about it. You have thousands and thousands of thoughts that follow you every single day. Even today, you had a lot of thoughts before you got out of bed. You have a lot of thoughts, and anxiety is the type of thing that will allow for you to get up before the time that you're supposed to get up, because you are anxious, you have anxiety, and it's something altogether when you're laying in bed. And as soon as you wake up, you plan your whole day right there in bed. When in reality, you should have planned your day the night before. You got what I'm saying? And before you could even put your feet in your slippers to get up out of bed, to have your feet hit the floor, you've already planned your day out. That's also another form of anxiety. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't know. We feel nervous and don't know how to call nervous anxiety. We sometimes say, no, I don't feel nervous, but you're unnerved. That's anxiety. And it's okay to acknowledge what you're going through. It's okay to acknowledge, this is what I'm about. This is what I'm going through. And it's hard. I get it. You don't always want to tell people the thing that's in your mind that you can't tell people about. I don't mean a secret. I don't mean a habit. I mean thoughts that come to you that you continue to entertain, that shape your mood, shape your demeanor, shape your mode, shape your actions. I want you to be able to take control of those actions, and we're going to be doing this every single, we're going to do it like maybe every other day of this particular week, where we're going to be going deeper, into our chart, so that you could see, wow, this is actually for me. We can talk about these things. And if you want to really go deeper, like I said, join Elevate Circle. You will not regret it. You can click the link. For those of you who are going to be on YouTube, I'm going to have the link, in the description. For those of you who are on Facebook, I'm going to have the link in the description. I want to help you. I know it's going to be something that benefit you. I'm not the most intelligent person. No, I'm not an expert. Let's get that off. That's a disclaimer. I'm not an expert. I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm not here to give you therapy. I'm not even here, to judge you. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm just here to make you better at feeling. This is what I want to do. I want to help you to become better at feeling it. So that when things happen, I want you to be able to dismiss what you can think about between you and the thought, and not allow for your emotions to run away with you. You get what I'm saying? I want you to be able to live a design mindset life. I want you to be able to win, and to be able to remove thoughts that will come to you. You could be in a room, and as soon as you get there, 5 minutes before, you didn't have a problem. But the longer you stayed in the room, and the longer you had these thoughts come to your mind, and they haunt you or they mess with you, 5 minutes later, you come out of the same room that you went in with it before you even had a problem, coming out with a problem, and now you have an issue, and now your mode change and your mood change, and you wonder why. Sometimes, like I said, you don't know what to call it, and sometimes you don't know where to place the pain, more or less how to get rid of what it is that have come to you. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, these are the things that we fight with. These are the things that we battle with. These are the things we're challenging, and I want to be able to help you, and rather you know or not, your mind, just like it treat you with all of the things, the conversation that you had, rethinking this and overthinking that. Do you not know that your mind treat other people the same way? You see what I'm saying? And you wonder why people look at us the way that they look at us. It's just that our mind is treating us the way that we have been treating ourselves. We become conducive to those things. And it's okay to acknowledge your mind and acknowledge those thoughts, acknowledge that they're here, but don't follow them. And there's a strategy that you can have so that you won't follow them. And that is this 5-step system. If you want to go deeper with us, like I said, please, we'll leave a link in the description. All right. Listen, as we land the plane, like I said, I was so happy to have had, I had a nice live session yesterday. My old neighborhood Reddick Projects. I want to give a shout out to Reddick Projects. Want to give a shout out to the Mikio Center, Mrs. Dorsey, who've helped us to have our their doors open. Excuse me, I'm kind of tired. I have been going on E all day, but they've opened their doors to us, so that we'll be able to present this great presentation. And Mrs. Dorsey is a wonderful lady, along with their staff. I want to say thank you for what it is that you've done for us. And we're looking to do new things and more things in the Reddick Projects, and maybe in a community center near you. Might be coming to your center. I don't know. Maybe coming to your city. Maybe coming to your borough. Maybe coming to your state. We want to bring the Elevate Circle to be known wherever people may need. And I'm gonna tell you, we don't really accept everybody. We don't accept everybody because we understand that this is not for everybody, And so there is a sheet that you have to fill out, and you might have to go through one consultation, or we might have to have a one-on-one, or whatever the case may be, just to make sure that you are fit for the Elevate Circle. You get what I'm saying? And if you're a good fit, welcome. You might not be a good fit. Maybe, you might just need therapy. Maybe you just might need a glass of water and some more rest as to the reason why you have anxiety. But we want to make sure that it fit. Listen, it's your boy Donald Francis. Thank you for listening in and tuning in to this presentation. I hope that it was helpful for you. And I'm going to definitely see you on next time. Do me a favor, let me know where you're shouting out from. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, let me know where you are. If you're ghosting us, let us know that you're ghosting us. Let me hit me up in my inbox. Say I listened to the whole thing, but I didn't tune in. But it's all good. And I look to see you in the next video. Like I said, I am not here to make you feel better. I'm only here to help you feel better at feeling. Peace.